So I've made a few shitty videos on the Yakuza series, and here comes another one. I love the shit out of this game, but sometimes I wish we had like a proper fighting game with all the major characters just so we can make them fight each other and see who wins. The main characters have only duked it out a few times against each other, but the ones we do have also told us a few things about the hierarchy of strength among the playable characters. So I'll be taking 9 of the 10 playable characters, not including the newest guy because there isn't an English release of the new Yakuza yet, and I'll be arbitrarily ranking them from weakest to strongest in my great, objective, wise, and all-knowing wonderful opinion. So let's go. Number 9, Haruka. This one is pretty obvious. She's not a fighter, she's a child for most of the games. If her VR self counted, then she would jump up, but that's fiction within the games world, so this one's easy. Number 8, Shinada. Okay, the controversial parts are probably going to begin now. I think Shinada is pretty strong, and he's pretty big too, but I don't think his martial arts knowledge can match the other characters. He's a weapons master, which makes him formidable, but take his weapons away and I don't think the other characters would be that intimidated by him. Also, keep in mind that within Yakuza 5 he was a normal athlete until relatively recently, a baseball player to be specific. That would have given him endurance, but he hadn't played in a bit, so that stamina was probably lost with time. Definitely not his skills at actual baseball though, those stuck around. Number 7, Akiyama. Next up is One Kick Rick or Jason Airborne, whatever you want to call him. This dude can fly. Not literally, but he gets close. Akiyama never skips leg day. Ever. Because he basically only kicks. He is capable of fighting with some grappling and stuff because he's capable of a lot of the same environmental heat moves as everyone else, but kicking is his main jam. This, however, gives him a bad disadvantage because if you manage to injure his legs or ground him somehow by not enabling him to jump so much, he isn't nearly as dangerous. Not defenseless, but definitely not an elite fighter, if he's not allowed to take to the skies. He barely ever fights with his hands or arms, so I can imagine his upper body strength is not crazy. So that's what brings him down so far. Still one of my favorite characters though. Number 6, Tanimura. Now Tanimura might not have been the most memorable character, but the dude could throw hands. He's well versed in martial arts, both personally and through his police training. This dude knows the art of subduing. He has the training to try and restrict your movements, and a lot of his moves are based around dislocating or breaking your limbs. However, compared to most others on this list, he's kind of a small dude, so he may get bossed around by some of the bigger guys like Majima or Kiryu. Plus, he's not that fast, so a speedster like Majima can probably just outmaneuver him. Plus, both him and Akiyama fought Kiryu together and lose, so that should be indication enough of their placement. Number 5, Majima. Next is the iconic Goro Majima. Now, Majima places pretty high for his mastery of 3 different fighting styles, including orthodox street fighting, using a bat, and his awesome acrobatic breaker style. Keep in mind the reason he places ahead of all the other guys before him is the X factor that is his personality. Majima has just enough crazy to keep fighting until he literally can't anymore, and just enough crazy to possibly win a fight he was otherwise going to lose, just by psychological warfare. However, I just don't think he can do anything about the raw strength of the next few guys. Number 4, Ryuji. Now, Ryuji is playable in Dead Souls, but I haven't played that one, but since he's a playable character in the franchise, he still counts. He's a little tougher to gauge because I haven't personally played as him, yet what I can tell from the boss battles versus him is that he's a force of nature, he's huge, strong, and can endure Kiryu's best attacks without losing consciousness. He also beat Daigo with relative ease as well. The reason he's only number 4 will become clear enough soon. Next up is the perfect man in every sense of the word, Kiryu Kazuma. As the guy who's in every game but 2 of them, what can I say that we don't already know? He can basically go Super Saiyan at will, knows 4 separate fighting styles, can even sword fight for fuck's sake, and can endure hit after hit after hit. The reason he is where he is? Easy. He beat almost every guy in the list so far personally, except for Shinada. And let's be honest, Shinada doesn't stand a chance, fam. However, I don't think he can do anything about the next 2 guys. Number 2. Majima. This game definitely seems to favor the large. Majima, aka the less interesting Goro, is a massive presence. He's huge, his raw strength is incredible, and he's brutal as hell. Another good indicator of where he stands is that this man washed up on the shores of Okinawa after 4 fights against Saito the prison guard and his goons, and you know, all that time he was spending swimming and drowning. Yet he still fought evenly with Kiryu when he washed up there. There is no way Kiryu beats this guy under normal circumstances. No way. Unfortunately, I think even he will not be able to stand up to the next guy. And you'll know why in a second. Number 1, Yagami. Now, you might be thinking, what the fuck are you on about? He's good, but not that good. And you're right. While Yagami knows 2 fighting styles and is pretty athletic and acrobatic, that's only one part of his puzzle here. The plain and simple reason Yagami ranks number 1? He has fucking superpowers. Yes, if you purchased a DLC pack for Judgment, Yagami gains the ability to shoot energy beams, summon lightning like fucking Thor, and spawn fire by hitting the ground. He basically becomes a battle shonen character. And there's nobody in the series, despite their massive strength, that can step to Yagami when he has those powers. Except maybe magical girl Haruka, but thankfully for him, she's not real. And yes, I consider anything that's in the game to be canon to what's possible. If you don't, then feel free to consider Saijima the real winner of my list. I say, without his superpowers, Yagami is probably middle of the pack, probably because of his two fighting styles and his, really acrobatic nature. But yeah, as far as my interpretation goes, in the Yakuza series, nobody even comes close to Yagami with the DLC pack. So therefore, he takes the #1 spot. Please, try and convince me Kiryu can tiger drop his way out of Battle Shonen powers. Anyway, that was my list. If people give enough of a shit about this video, I may do the main villains of each game next. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.